Hi, I'm Laura with Badger Run, and we're back with another edition of our distance learning. Today we're going to talk about our great horned owl educational ambassador, Dudley. Now, Dudley came to us in February of 2018 after being hit by a car. He was found by the side of the road. He did not have any fractures. However, he did sustain a really bad head injury, head trauma. And it's never really completely resolved. He also has just a little bit of vision loss, so we were not able to release Dudley back to the wild. So he joined our education team in June of 2018. Now, great horned owl, where do they get their name? Well, here's his horns. Actually, those are feather fashion statements. And the real name, the proper name for those feather tufts is plumicorn. Those are his plumicorns. They're kind of like owl mood rings. So depending on how he's holding them, either flat on his head or straight up, can kind of dictate, or rather let you know how he's feeling about you and life in general. Good boy. Now, having an owl up this close, you get to see a lot of cool stuff about owls. They're pretty different than the other birds of prey. So the first part that really stands apart is the foot. So all owls have 2 toes in front, 2 toes in back. That's the normal toe position. It's called zygodactyl. See it? 2 in front, 2 in back. Now what this toe position is really efficient for is picking things up when you're going to just swoop in, grab it, and fly away immediately. Think about those arcade claw machines. 2 and 2 is a lot easier to pick something up than if you have 3 in front, 3 claws in front and 1 claw in back. So that gives them a lot of ability to lift things easily. Now, the other cool thing about a great horned owl's foot is the amount of grip strength he has. So this cute little feathery foot here has up to 500 pounds per square inch in that grip strength. Now that compares to a really strong, normal human grip strength of 50. That would be the max on a person. The other cool thing about an owl's foot is they have an opposable toe. So if it's more convenient for them to perch with their toe brought to the front, they can reposition those toes so they do have 3 toes in front, 1 toe in back, which is more commonly found in most of the other birds. Okay? Now, the other cool thing about owls is they kind of have a superpower. Their hearing. Dudley here has the ability to hear a mouse footsteps, 100 yards away. That's a football field. There are other owls that can even hear things further away, like a great gray owl could hear a mouse under the snow, 200 yards away. Never see it, but be able to grab it from under the snow. Now they pull this off because of a whole lot of physical characteristics that they have that work together to give them this superb hearing. First thing is, if you've ever looked at an owl's face, do you notice it kind of looks like they have 2 Thank you. Do you ever notice it looks like they have 2 satellite dishes strapped to the front? That's how those discs are working. They collect the sound into the face. Even his little beak, you'll see, is pushed down out of the way so it doesn't interfere with the sound coming into those discs. Then these feathers that surround the edges of those facial discs, they're real stiff and bristly. They call them sound reflective. What it does, when the sound comes into the face, those feathers channel the sound out to the sides of his head where his ears are, just like when you cup your hands behind your ears. It kind of helps amplify it and direct the sound directly to the ears. They can even move those feathers and those discs around by using their facial muscles. So then you get out here to the side of the head where the ears are. Now owls generally have pretty big ears. Dudley's ears are probably, his ear openings are probably about that big around. In fact, a lot of owls have ear openings that are so large you can see the backs of their eyes through their ear canals. Okay, so you got a giant ear too in a lot of cases. Now, depending on the species of owl, most owls will have offset ears. One ear is going to be a little bit higher, one ear is going to be a little bit lower. Not all species, but most species of owls have this setup. And this actually improves their ability to hear. When your ears are offset like that, or rather to hear and to find their food without seeing it, when your ears are offset like that, the only way that sound will hit your both ears at the exact same split second is if you're facing where the sound came from. So they triangulate. So when he hears a sound, or when an owl hears a sound, it'll immediately face it. Now, they know where it's coming from, but they don't know where it is in this plane. So some owls also have the added benefit of, with those offset ears, the way the ear is actually built, one ear is essentially tipped slightly down and one ear is tipped a little bit up. Now what that does then is make the ears also work like a directional microphone. So when you get the loudness to also match on each side, the owl can crosshair right on its prey. So I mentioned that great gray owl before. What it can do is swoop down out of a tree branch, grab a mouse from under the snow 200 yards away, and he can punch through that snow with his feet, snow crust that will hold up to a 176-pound human. He'll punch through that crust, grab that mouse, never needs to see it. Now you'll probably also notice what you're seeing here with Dudley is what's called gular fluttering. Birds pant. They can't sweat, so they pant just like a dog to cool off. Or when they're a little bit nervous, they pant. And in owls, you really see it because the way this lower pouch here flutters when he pants. Okay? Now, owls also have giant eyes, you might notice. His probably take up about 40% of his head space. They're tube-shaped eyes in the case of owls, so they're like a cylinder, goes front to back. The other thing about owls you've probably heard is that they can turn their heads all the way around, 360 degrees. And that is not quite right. An owl has 270 degrees of rotation. That's 3/4 of a circle. Both ways, not a full circle. His head would pop off and he'd bleed to death. But they can do it very quickly as well. They're able to do this because they're built such that they have 14 cervical vertebrae, so they have twice as many cervical vertebrae in their necks as mammals do, so they have more joints in their necks. Plus, in the case of owls, they also have a really large opening where the blood vessels that go up to the brain, where they pass through the skeleton. Now, what this allows is a huge hole for the blood vessels to go through, and it's padded. And what it does when they turn their necks like that, they don't cut off their blood supply. So they're really built just for that operation. Most birds, in fact, birds of prey, can turn their heads quite a ways. All birds have their eyes fixed in their heads. They don't move in the eye socket. So the bird has to twist their whole head around to look around. So even a red-tailed hawk has about 230 degrees of rotation each direction. Now, owls also fly super, super silently. Part of that is so they can sneak up on their prey. But if you're talking about a bird that depends on their own hearing, it kind of makes sense that not making a lot of noise flapping will also improve their ability to locate the prey by hearing. With owls, when you touch their feathers compared to other birds, they are extremely soft. Owls are not waterproof. Waterproofing would actually make the feathers make more noise when they fly. So they have a very soft fringed feather. Then on the leading edge of the wing, and I had a feather to show you, but it fell down, so we'll just go from here. You have along the leading edge of the wing, the feathers are serrated, just like the teeth of a comb. You're going to see little teeth on the leading edge of the wing. And what this does is it breaks up the air currents coming across the leading edge of the wing as they're flying, and it deadens the sound of the air passing over the wing. And then if you look at the back edge of the wing, the trailing edge, those feathers are fringed on the back side, and it also helps muffle the sound. So they're very, very quiet in flight. In fact, barn owls are the most quiet of the owls, to my knowledge. You can put them along a bank of microphones. You will not hear one tiny sound from those wings flapping. So that's all I have on great horned owls today. Join us again. We're going to be posting more videos, and take care.